And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to find out the key of a song so that you could solo to it. So I got 3 songs prepared. We're going to analyze. Figuring out the key of a song so that you could solo to it is basically chord analysis. You're going to look at the chord structure of a song and figure out what key it is. And you're going to use your ear. So it's a combination of using your ear and, using some music theory. The combination of both is really, really helpful. We're going to take 3 songs. We're going to take simple songs, Happy Birthday. We're going to just analyze that real quick, figure out what key that is. You could play in any key. And then we're going to do a little, a part of Led Zeppelin song. And then I'll show you a part of an ABBA song. I'm going to try not to get some copyright claims on these, so I'm going to be very vague about it. You're going to be able to figure out the formula of how to figure out the key of any song once we do this. So check this out. On my looper, I have a Happy Birthday chords. Now, in figuring out how do I solo in Happy Birthday? Okay, well, it comes down to establishing the key of the song. You want to find out what key this particular version is in. The way we could do that is this. In this particular version, we're playing it in E. 1 chord to the 5 chord, D. The B, 5 chord, back to E. 1 chord to the 4 chord, A. E, B, E. Here's how I figure this out. Look at this chord chart right here. This is the Nashville system or the number system. In any key, the major scale is a formula. And the key of E sounds like this. And that's E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D, E. It's a series of half steps and whole steps. You have from E, you have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And that's for any key. But right now we're going to play this song in E, Happy Birthday to You. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to the octave. And as you can see, the 1 chord, and each of these notes has its own chord. Now, get that really stuck in your head because all of music is based around that right there. And it's this formula right here. It's the major scale. The uppercase Roman numerals are the major chords and the lowercase are the minor chords. And that's the formula in every key. So you have E is the 1 chord, A is the 4 chord, and B, 5 chord. They're the 3 major chords of the key. Now the 2 chord, F sharp is minor, the G sharp is minor, the 6 chord is minor, and the D sharp is the minor 7 flat 5. It's just the 1 oddball out. So if you're liking this video so far, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. So we did some chord analysis on Happy Birthday. We established that it's in the key of E, and it's just a very general observation of the song, and it's a basic song here, but it's the same thing for finding out how to solo in any key. So if I had these chords right here, I didn't want to play Happy Birthday. If I just wanted to solo, well, I mean, first thing you would do is play the E major scale, right? I mean, you know the melody of the song. We played that 10 times, right? Now, if you know the major scale, try to be musical. I mean, it's not perfect and it's not really targeting specific notes, but if you want to know how to solo over those particular chords, you know that you're in the key of E and you're resolving to E, so you could play the E major scale. Find anywhere you like to play the major scale. There's plenty of places to play the major scale. I'm playing it in this position right here, over this C shape E. Play it right up to one string. So watch this. Let's try this. I mean, it doesn't sound the best, but it's in tune. It's in key with the song. Try to be more in tune with the song. That's just on one string. Find good places for the E major scale. Right here is a very popular place right here. You know this position right here. Right? This pentatonic shape right here. Don't confuse this with the minor pentatonic. That would be over the 6th chord, the minor. But over the E, it's the same notes, but we're starting on the E. Or the pentatonic, which you could play too. So if you know this groundbreaking position right here, or the major scale, there it is again. That's just 3 octaves up. Here's the first octave, second octave, third octave. Picking out the key, we're establishing the key, we're in the key of E for this particular song. We could play this in C. So right now I just played it in C and there's no flats or sharps because it's the C major scale. It's the 1 chord to the 5 chord. The 5 chord to the 1 chord. 1 chord to the 4 chord. 1, 5, 1. Or to make it easier, I'll just play it in this low register. You know, in any key that we play it in, it's going to be a 1 chord to a 5 chord. We know that the G is the 5 chord of C because we're counting up the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's a G. And then the G again. Back to the 1 chord. Then the C to a 5 chord. F to a C. G. C. Played in any key, played in A. one thing you could also do on this is you could play the arpeggios. That's playing through arpeggios. You could also play with pentatonic scale, major pentatonic scale. Now what's beautiful about improvising over this, something like this too, is if you see this particular chart here again, in this key, the three major keys have three pentatonic scales. The three minor keys have minor pentatonic scales. So if you know your minor or major pentatonic scales like this over E, I mean you might know it up here again like it's pentatonic scale. Like the Allman Brothers, you know, right there. You have. In this position right here, that I was playing it, you have it over here. That's another way to get a little bit more dialed in on improvising over that. So you know Stairway to Heaven, right? Who is that, Led Zeppelin? At the very end, there's a little jam at the end, like during the solo. It's like... right? So it's just three chords there at the end. Say you're at the end of Stairway to Heaven, you're like, how do I solo to that? Well, look at these three chords, just like we did on this chart right here. Okay, we established that A, G, F, F. So look at these three chords. What are they? A minor, F, and G. Well, whenever you have a minor chord, and then you have, look at the formula, G and F. The best way to find out what key you're in, when you see two major chords together like this, like an F major and a G major, you can almost assume that it's a 4-chord, 5-chord, because the 4 and the 5 are always right next to each other. When you have two major chords, you have the 4 and a 5. 4, 5, and the next one will be a 6. Look at the 4 and look at the 5. It's going to be like that formula in every key. F, G, then A. You're in the key of C right now because you have 4, 5, 6, 7, C, 1. So I played the C major scale right from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Here's the F. Here's the G. It's the 4 and the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know the 4 and the 5 is always going to go back to the 1 chord right here, which is C. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A minor, 6. So it's right there in clear sight. A minor, G, F. You're in A minor, relative minor to C major. So you know you're in A natural minor right there. So you play the minor scale over that whole thing right there. So if I had a little loop right here, check this out. Just play the A minor scale. Anyway, I'm just noodling around in the A minor scale, A minor pentatonic, and I established that by looking at the three chords, A, G, and and figuring out that what we're dealing with here. And it's not always going to be the case, but actually in 99% of the time, when you have two major chords together, it's going to be a 4 and a 5. And figure out where the 1 is. It's right on top of the 5 right there. It's always going to be right there. 4, 5, 1. 4, 5. No matter what key you're in. If we're in the key of, back to E here, 4, 5, 1. 4, 5, the 6 is always going to be there. Because it's always the same formula. This, to me, is the most important thing in music, really. Because if you know the major scale, then you know the 7 diatonic chords. And as a matter of fact, I made a video on how to build the 7 diatonic chords, and I'll put that in the description as well, and you should check that out. And if you know these 7 chords, I mean, you can figure out any song, jazz standards, anything. In all music, in all pop music, it's all based around those 7 chords, the major scale. Those are in harmony because I know the 7 chords. I keep repeating myself, but I'm in a flow state here. And that's what it is. The 1 chord is major, the 2 chord is minor, and it's the same shape. Check this out. All these shapes are the same. Major shape, like this. Same thing over here. It's a shape. Look, it's the same. If I took this and I moved it up to here, it's the same shape. Same shape. All the way up to here to the B. So now you have the E, the A, and the B. Exactly the same. 1, 4, 5. The 2 chords minor. The only difference is that, check this out, if I played an E, if I drop that chord, it's minor now. So if I drop, here's the minor chord, the 3 chords minor, and the 6 chords minor. So you have 3 major chords, exactly the same. 3 minor chords, exactly the same. You have that 1 weird chord. It's like a minor, but it has a flat 5 here. And then you'll see within the chord, you have your root, 5, root, 3rd, 5th, open, again. Every chord's that way. Root, 5th, octave, 3rd, 5th, root, 5th. So it's all the same. Like that. So if I want to figure out a song, well, I know that's the formula of every song. But where in that song does it start? Well, in Stairway to Heaven, it starts on an A minor. So I mean that A minor could be, well, there's 3 minors in every key, right? So how do I figure out which one that is? Is that the 2 chord? Is it the 3 chord? Or is it the 6 chord? I know it's not the 7 chord because it's not a flat 5. I know based on the 2nd chord. Okay, well, it still could be, if all I knew was the A minor, and then it went to the G, and I was like, okay, well, it could be a 6 to a 5, or it could be a 2 to a 1. I don't know yet. It could be only those 2 things, because it can't be a 3 to a 2, because the 2 would be minor right there. So I know so far, it's either a 6 to a 5, or it's a 2 to a 1, but then it goes to this chord, and now I know right off the bat what it is. I know it's a 6, 5, 4. Because that's the only place in the formula that works in the major scale. So I know what key I'm in now. A, I know it's a 6, 5, 4, 1. I know I'm in C. So I know what scale to play over that, because I know the 7 notes, and they are, it's not a Dorian. That wouldn't work right there. Or it could, I mean, who knows, I mean, whatever, it sounds good. But I know that when I go to the F, that's going to be right. We figured out what key the solo Stairway to Heaven is in, right? I got one more we'll figure out real quick. The verses of Dancing Queen, it's like this. I'm not going to play anymore because I don't want to get any copyright claims of it, but I'll just go, it's an A to a D chord. Well, what's that? How do I figure out what key that is? And how do I solo over that? Well, I know it's an A. I know, what chord is that? Well, that's a D chord, an inversion. I'm leaving the A on the bottom of that D chord. This is the D chord, only with a 3rd. So here's an A. Here's a D. rest of that. But you got an A, and you have a D. Well, once again, what do I have with an A chord and a D chord? Well, I know that the A is probably the 1 chord. I have 2 chords here, an A and a D. And what is that? It's a fourth away from each other. If I play the A major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, here's the D. A, 2, 3. Starting on the A string, here's the A major scale. I'm going to stop when I get to the D. A, B, C sharp, D. So here's the chord progression. But it sounds better like this, doesn't it? Right. So I know based on those 2 chords, I'm in the key of A. Now I can play the A major scale through the whole thing. So over this progression, now it doesn't sound very good, but it's the right notes. I stopped on the D within the A major scale. Major scale. Check it out. Look what this A major scale does to the D chord. It gives it a Lydian sharp 4 sound. Check it out. It's like the riff. If you want the graphs that I used here in this lesson today, just email me at info@jerrycherry and I will send them right over to you. Figure out the chord, figure out the key based on that formula. Google the song, just put in the chord charts for whatever song you want. Once you look at those chords, figure out where they fit in the scale, in the formula. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Figure out what key you're in that way. Now, a lot of times it's going to be tricky because songs are going to change keys, and that's the beauty of analyzing chords, and breaking down that stuff, which is really, really fun to do. But for the most part, you'll see that all the chords are within those 7 chords. And it's a little diatonic, and most songs are pretty boring when they don't change keys a little bit. You do a chord like this. That's a 1-4, right? But you can go from a 1 chord to a... Now that's not in the key. That's the 4 chord minor right there. But after a while of hearing stuff like that, you'll start to just recognize that. It's like, yeah, well, I'm still in E, but you know what? I'm out. Now I'm doing like a parallel minor right there, where now your E becomes minor right there, over that 4 chord. Because now E, that's like a 6 chord to a 7, to a 1, to a 2. Could be something like that. I do have a guitar course you could check out. There's 4 topics in there. I go over fretboard memorization. There's 8 videos. 2 on fretboard memorization, where I teach you to easily find the frets. Circle of fifths, where it's basically a circle, looks like a steering wheel or a pizza, and it goes through all of how chords are put together. How to blues solo, and I teach about the cage system and all the chords using the cage shapes in a 2-5-1 sequence. So check that out in the description. It's at my website, jerrycherry.com. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let me know if you want those charts. Email me free charts. I usually give away backing tracks and everything, but I don't have any backing tracks here. I just have loops that I created for this. If you have some ideas, email me. This idea came from Ozman. Actually, he gave me an idea once a while ago because he was trying to figure out how to solo over Can't Find My Way Home from Steve Winwood and Eric Clapton. What was the name of that band? Blind Faith. So I did a video on that, Can't Find My Way Home, and it did pretty well. If you want to check that out online. I break down more of a complex structure, but once you know these this formula, it becomes easier and easier to do. And it's always a challenge, that's for sure, but it becomes doable. So thank you very much for that. Remember, be cool, be kind, and be cherry. And if you want to see another video on the 7 diatonic chords, which is probably the most important thing to know in music to figure out any song, I'll put that right up there for you there. Put it right up there. And I love yous. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Peace, y'all. Love yous.